My name is Trevor Young. I'm currently a grade 12 student here at Bayview Academy in St. George's, Newfoundland. I'm a proud member of the Qalipu First Nations, and I'm a proud Canadian. I hope one day to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. Recently, I had the opportunity to interview veterans of our community. It is my pleasure to share the conversations with you today.
Hello, my name is Katie King. I'm a grade 12 at Bayview Academy in St. George's, Newfoundland. I'm a proud member of the Qalipu First Nations. I'm currently a member of the Canadian Armed Forces as a trained private. During recent interviews of veterans in our community, we learned that service is rewarding and difficult, especially when conflicts end. Our veterans return home. I would like to thank the veterans and remind young Canadians to keep in mind on Remembrance Day.
Good morning, my name is Gerard Elmer Alexander, retired Master Corporal with 28 years service.
Why is service important?
Well, like they say, a lot of things is probably a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. I mean, sometimes, normal person couldn't do a lot of stuff that most of your veterans are going to see they seen and did, but it's important because somebody has to do it to defend our country, and we're the chosen ones, I guess. Yeah. I'm a vehicle tech, so my tour, when I went over to Afghanistan, I was on recovery too. And that was scary at times because you're always on duty or secondary, like primary recovery or secondary recovery. And we went out and recovered anything from an explosion to a breakdown out in right downtown Kabul and surrounding area. So at times you had to keep an eye on your back because sometimes they really close in on you and you'd have to get your security to open you up so you can get your job, hook up that vehicle and get out there as quick as possible, right? So it was hard on the nerves and at times, right? Really.
My name is Joseph Blanchard. I was a captain in Canadian military, Royal Canadian Medical Services Division, and yeah.
And years of service?
30 years of service.
Why is service important?
For me, it was my family's history with the Canadian military, the wars that they fought through, and as a young person, I joined the Army Cadets as an engineer cadet. So to me, it meant a lot to follow in my father's footsteps, and my stepfather, who was Roddy McSween, by the way. So,
my name is retired Corporal Ambrose Lucas. I'm from Stephenville Crossing, Newfoundland, and I done a tour of Croatia in '93 in the Medak Pocket with the 2 PPCLI as a member of the Royal Newfoundland Regiment, Charlie Company. I was attached with them over in Edmonton, and then I done a tour of Bosnia in 2001 as a member of 2 Combat Medical Unit. The role as a medic, the combat medic actually is one of the most vital roles in the military itself, because without the medic, if there's an injured soldier, a dying soldier or whatever, without the medic they have no first aid or no medical how would you say, medical capabilities to save someone. And our job as a medic is important. The downfall of being a medic is all the other units have spare parts for vehicles, for weapons, spare clothing and everything. As medics, when we have especially real life-threatening trauma, we don't have spare parts in our medical bags. We only have enough to sustain, to keep the airway open, to keep the blood supply, use tourniquets, IV to keep the person hydrated or whatever till we actually get them to the proper medical facility where they can be properly treated for their injuries. Yeah, because as soon as I seen the war in Ukraine and the shelling was going on and the bodies that were lying in the streets, it just brought me right back to 1993, which is going to be a 30-year celebration next year of the 2 PPCLI when we entered the Medak Pocket in '93. And we faced the same atrocities that the people of Ukraine are facing now, and it just reignited my PTSD all over again. But I learned to handle it my own way, and I just have to handle it every day, and that's what I was trained to do. I done the job. It wasn't the most important job in the world, but it was important to me. But at the same time, what we had to do as combat medics was unfathomable for a lot of people, because when they see, especially the medals and the Commander-in-Chief's Commendation, which I'm wearing right here, is the Commander-in-Chief's Commendation, which was originally awarded to the PPCLI first, because We were the first unit to engage in an actual firefight and actually be shelled other than Korea.
Perfect, yeah. And my name is Christopher Joseph Blanchard. I am Joe's son and been moving around with him since the inception of myself.
Inception of myself, yeah.
Or conception.
Conception, whatever, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that came after.
Yeah. There was challenges and there was excitement. When you grow up in the military, you're not really told as a young child right away that you're being moved somewhere else. It was always, okay, pick up your stuff, pack, we're leaving, we got to be here next week. And sometimes you didn't have enough time to say goodbye to friends, you didn't have any of these things. But the exciting part is you're about to go learn something new. You're about to meet new people. You're about to see new experiences. And some people in communities were very accepting, very loving. Some others weren't. But when you got on bases, everybody loved everybody. It was always a good time. It was always a big community. They say that a community raises a child. Well, my community was large.
Yeah, it's you fight back the tears, of course. Proud of our children. They put up with 99% of the unwanted part of our lifestyle in the military. I'm proud of what he's doing. He's back in university. My daughter has 2 little granddaughters, so the family unit continues. Like I said, coming back home here, and I meet my cousins, and you know, to be with the military family, Greg. I see him. He loves that piece of it, and the pride that comes out of him, and it just makes me proud.
My feelings about Remembrance Day is the family that we've lost throughout the years, the people that I would consider uncles and aunts for the fact that they were friends of his growing up through the military, and you would hear that, you know, this person passed or this person passed. So the biggest thing is when you're at Remembrance Day to be there and to thank all those people, even in your head or out loud, you know, for the contribution that they've done to help keep Canada a peaceful place. My message to the young ones would be for, you know, to be proud, to be patient, to be willing to experience new things, be open-minded. There is so much that you will experience and become such a wonderful, humble person after learning about the different stories and the different positions that some of these people have had to put themselves through most of their lives and through their career.
Hi, my name is Master Seaman Greg James, retired, 22 years of service, and no foreign overseas tours, but a lot of domestic operations.
Why did you join the Canadian Armed Forces?
I joined to serve my country because I want to live in a democratic, free country, and I think I was 12 years old when I joined the Sea Cadets, so absolutely at 12 years old I knew exactly what I wanted to do the rest of my life.
What was the experience like for a young man from Bayview?
Yeah, I first joined the infantry, went to Wainwright, Alberta, and being fresh right out of the bay, first time off the rock, they questioned me in that they thought I was French. They couldn't understand my dialect. So it was a very, very eye-opening experience for sure, very physical, mentally challenging, but it's one of the most rewarding things I ever done in my life.
Would you like to share some of the challenges faced returning home to your community?
Well, absolutely. I think I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder approximately 9 years ago, and I think one of the scariest times in my life was feeling so alone and not being able to talk about it, because mental health at that time was very taboo in the military. You couldn't talk to anyone about it. So I think I reached out after I'm a survivor of suicide. I reached out after those moments and got the help that I I certainly seeked after spending some time in some institutions, things like that. Now I don't suffer with PTSD. Today I live with PTSD.
Could you tell us the role of Ace in this
So
project?
this is Ace. Ace is my service dog, and the role of Ace is to regulate my emotions. He's always calm, relaxed. He never chases a cat or anything like that, or gets me excited. He's just max relaxing. He's just such a great companion to have with me, and to he's always there. I can touch him, I can feel him, and I can feel his presence with me all the time. So I got Ace from Kansas. Ace entered the service when he was 3 months old, and I was paired with him when he was 2.5 years old. And the Royal Canadian Legion was grateful enough to purchase this dog for me.
I notice you're holding a feather and you have connections to the Indigenous community here. Can you tell us the role of that identity has for you in your healing?
I'm a very proud Mi'kmaq veteran. I took that throughout my service, and I was never afraid to tell anyone that I was Mi'kmaq. The role that my culture has played in healing, in my healing, that has been very significant. And when I retired, I moved back home to Newfoundland, to Bayview, and I seen a need for the community to come together, because we have a large demographic in Bayview of Mi'kmaq people, but people were afraid to identify as Mi'kmaq, and I wanted to make them feel proud to be Mi'kmaq, and that's the biggest reason I started the Bayview First Nation band.
My final question is, what is your message to maybe a younger man than yourself who's dealing with what you dealt with earlier on after your retirement?
You're not alone. Don't be scared. Reach out and get those services that you need, because there are many of us out there. We don't have to be alone anymore. We can talk about our experiences freely. You know, being among comrades and everything is therapy for me. So when I'm asked about my PTSD and everything, I don't need to tell the gruesome details of what I've seen and done, but I just need to express myself and just be with comrades. And being of service to country is probably the greatest thing that anyone can do.
Lest we forget.